Gundam.tk presents Unicorn Gundam. Hey everybody, Robert184. Welcome back to part 2 of my review of the Master Grade Unicorn Gundam ver.Ka. And don't forget to check out part 1 where you can see all of the details about the box tour and manuals. And in this part, I'm going to go into details about each of the parts. So once the Unicorn Gundam is all put together and you've ordered all of the parts that you broke putting it together, remember, be careful. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get 2 legs with 2 feet, including the very noticeable blue bottoms. You're going to get the waist section, the torso, the chest, which does come with an extra fin, or sorry, I shouldn't call it a V-fin. You're going to get the unicorn horn here, and these parts can separate, so I'm glad that they give you both. You get the arms, shoulders, and for the beam magnum, which is one of the coolest looking Gundam weapons I've ever seen, you're also going to get a bazooka and 2 extra ammo packs which slap onto the back. Usually I do height comparisons between various Gundam models, but in this case I'm going to be doing height comparisons between its 2 different legs. So here we have the Unicorn mode and here we have Destroy mode, and you can see that this guy is really going to hulk up in terms of size and bulk when you transform him. As for the parts themselves, starting at the bottom with the Unicorn mode first, here's the leg, and yeah, not a lot of mobility there at all. You're not even going to get a 90 degrees, which has apparently been fixed in the new version of this kit that they're going to put out in March. But anyway, me having already have this one, I don't think they did enough with the new one to make me want to buy it. As far as ankle mobility goes, you can move a lot of parts here, but when you do it, you can see that things pop open and everything doesn't feel very solid. But you are able to move it up and down okay, but off to the side, it's a little bit iffy, so I don't think it's going to be able to hold a lot of different poses. The leg in Unicorn mode is going to look very different, and the posability stays identically awful. One thing I should note is that this part here on the knee always wants to pop off. There's just a tiny little pin inside here that you attach on there, and that does not like to stay, so you're not going to have a lot of luck with that. It does expose a fair bit of red, and by pulling down the ankles, you're going to get this kind of mobility. So you can move them off to the side, although you hear bad sounds as you do it, and front and back you can do it again, but everything sort of pops out of place. So the ankles can move, but so far they're not so solid. For the waist, you can see it in half transform mode here. So over here you'll notice it's very, very white, though I added a tiny little bit of gray lining, which is something maybe I didn't really have to do. But over on the other side you can see the pink parts, how they get exposed here, and you're just going to attach the legs onto the hips here. And something I should mention is that on the back there's a small panel here that you're able to hook on the extra ammo pack, so he can have an ammo pack on both sides ready to use when he needs it. Now here is my half-transformed chest, so over here you can see that it exposes a fair bit of red, including popping up on the shoulders, which is a really cool touch. A little bit in the back, and I've separated this part at the bottom, but I have to say transforming the chest is not easy at all, as you'll see. It also does have some mobility at the bottom where you can move this part forward and back, at least when it's in Unicorn mode. Now here's the arm for the Unicorn Gundam, and it has a strange bending mechanism. As you bend it here, it doesn't really want to go, so you have to pull it up a little bit, and when you do that, you're able to get a 90-degree bend and nothing more. Otherwise, it's very plain white, although we can tell that there's going to be some pink revealed underneath, and the hands actually look pretty good, no problems there. This shoulder part is incredibly hard to transform, well, until you get the hang of it anyway, and because of that I broke apart doing it. So when I ordered the part and I put it all together, I haven't been able to get it to quite seal up and hide all of the red frame inside, although that's not a horrible thing. In comparison, once you open it up, here's what it looks like on the other arm, so you can see that everything sort of folds down into completely different shapes. As for the arm itself, once it's in Unicorn mode, you can still bend it, but the same problem, you're just going to have to get it out of the way to get the 90-degree bend. But what's cool about this is when you open it up, you can actually store a beam saber in here, or the beam saber is stored in there, and of course you can take it out, but you can also just attach the beam saber there and have it attached onto the arm like a single long Wolverine claw. So here's the head of the Unicorn Gundam in Unicorn mode, and I put on a little bit of lining there, which I don't know if I did, but yeah, do you notice the big ugly split on the unicorn horn? That can be fixed by swapping that out and putting in the single piece here instead of the 2 separate pieces that we've got here. And I'm sure that the fact they have stickers inside don't really help that model, or don't really help that point. As far as the eyes go inside, you can't really see anything at all in there, which sort of adds a little bit to the mysterious allure of the Unicorn Gundam. Well, in Unicorn mode anyway, so I have no complaints about that, although I think they put a sticker inside for the high-grade version. Here is the half-transformed shield, and I really like the shield of the Unicorn Gundam, so I sort of wish we got a full armor version just so we would get 2 shields with it. On the back here you have the ability to slide this up and down so you can adjust it onto different places, and it should sit off properly to the side of the arm, not to the back. Hello, Uso Ebbing. Now the Beam Magnum is probably one of the coolest looking lead Gundam weapons that I've ever seen. And in addition to that, the fact that they give you the 2 colors, it's got the gray, the dark, and then you've got these blue parts for the ammo. And for the ammo, if you slide this apart, you're actually able to pop these out and interchange them with the other 2 that they give you. So a really cool thing in terms of playability, so when you seal it up, you can just put that forward, lock it into place, and he's ready to go. Now the Hyper Bazooka offers absolutely nothing interesting in terms of colors, but it is cool, and again the ammo pack can go onto the back of the hips here. But you can also lock it into place, although if you do that it has the habit of pulling this out a little bit too much, so be careful when you do that. And that slaps in there very satisfyingly for a good click, just again be careful that you don't pull this out too far. The beam sabers are very pink, which sort of goes well with the inner frame, and you have space to put a little bit of lining on, as you can see there, and their square shape makes them pretty unique looking, I think. Now the backpack here is half transformed, so over here you have Unicorn mode, and over here we have Destroy mode. It reveals just enough inner frame to make it look sort of cool, and of course it brings up the other 2 beam sabers so that they're ready to go old Amuro's style. So thanks for watching part 2, everybody, and in the next part I am going to show you it all put together in Unicorn mode, and then we'll look at the transformation into Destroy mode. As always, thanks for watching. Robert184 from Gundam. Not Gurren Lagann. Gundam.tk.